Okay, so somebody said, would you say Freak failed in the CORKI rework because he is even more pro-bound now? I hear this about a lot of characters, and I feel like this question is a little troll, and I'll tell you why. You're like, hey, you reworked CORKI, and your goal was to get him out of pro, and I just saw him in pro. So you're a failure, right? You failed. I want to make sure there's something to understand here. It is not a failure for a character to continue to show up in pro after we have done pro work on them. It is a failure if the character's problems are not solved. And one of the problems we do when we do pro work typically is there's a number of characters in the past who have had to be kept at incredibly low win rates. We're talking like 44% win rate while having like insane pick rates in pro. And so if we talk about CORKI as an example, old CORKI was a character we had to keep 44% or lower in terms of power. He had to be incredibly low power. And while being incredibly low power, he would still have metas where he showed up like 100% of the time in pro. Comparatively, right now, CORKI has a 49% win rate in solo queue and is now a bot laner, like a viable bot laner, which is a big win. And not only a viable bot laner, but actually one who's played some amount of the time. Got like a average pick rate, which is a pretty big win as well. And he's only in about half of pro games. And so I want you to, what I want you to understand is that is a huge difference between 44% win rate, most pro games, almost all pro games, and 49% win rate, half of pro games. Big difference. Now, is CORKI still, in the long run, going to be a character that probably needs to be balanced around pro play to some degree? Yes, definitely. Very likely, right? But again, I want to be really clear that being in pro is not a failure, is not a problem. There is a massive difference between being in pro and taking over pro.